For this week's class, you must watch the movie version of the musical Hair. Hair was originally performed in 1968. The book and lyrics were written by James Ratto and Jerome Ragney, and it was composed by Galt MacDermot, who is, incidentally, a Canadian composer. The setting of the play is New York City, and the time of the play is the time of its creation, in the 1960s, which is during the draft of American soldiers to fight in the Vietnam War and amidst the protests that sought to end that war. According to VietnamWar.com, 58,000 Americans died in the Vietnam War. The first large protest march against the Vietnam War in the United States was a march on Washington in December 1964. The people who opposed this war were particularly concerned at that time with the use of chemical warfare such as Agent Orange and napalm. At the same time, the hippie movement was on the rise. Now, the hippie movement is actually an extension of the hipster movement that we learned about in relation to the Jack Gelber play, The Connection, that we watched earlier in the term. And the hippie ideology embraced peace as a universal concept, and as a result, the hippies were vehemently opposed to the war. The hippies were a large transnational youth community that revolved around music, psychedelic rock, free love, and psychedelic drugs as ways to explore elevated states of consciousness. The movie Hair celebrates this way of life and suggests that the world is on the cusp of a radical ideological shift where peace, love, freedom, and happiness will reign. In astrological beliefs, this shift coincides with something called the dawning of the Age of Aquarius. The Age of Aquarius is one of 12 astrological ages named like the astrological signs. And the end of the 20th century was believed to be the end of the Age of Pisces and the beginning of the Age of Aquarius. So this is where the term New Age comes from. No one seems to know exactly where these astrological ages start or finish, but each is believed to be roughly 2,200 years long. The Age of Aquarius is the first and most famous song in the musical Hair. The theme of youth empowerment is a central issue in the movie. Hair encapsulates the energy, passion, and love of a generation united by the idea of peace. This play is about taking a stand. It's about what happens in relation to the themes of this course. The link is obvious. It is theater about the belief that music, sex, love, and drugs can create elevated states of consciousness. And ideally, the musical meant to incite people to believe that they have a voice, that they can use that voice, and that they can and should take an active interest in the politics of the world in which they live. The story is told through music, dance, and short vignettes, but it's a powerful and unforgettable story of friendship, love, and loss. I hope you like it as much as I did when I first saw it, and I look forward to dropping in on your forum discussions about it. Enjoy the film. Okay, so here we are, at the end of our course, Sex, Drugs, and Theater. Now, you want to make sure and go over all your notes and start studying for the exam. But as I said at the beginning of this class, I will not try to trick you in the exam. So if you've done the readings, watched the films, studied the lectures and interviews, and participated in your forums, you will be set to start studying and reviewing the material and do well on the exam. I sincerely hope that you have enjoyed the material in this class and that you found the work fun and edifying. Good luck on the exam. Bye.